Boom. Hard work and bravery, yeah, required. Oof, that's, yikes. You're not going to win any supporters saying, requiring hard work and bravery. No. Everything's got to be easy, quick, simple. Man. You ever not be able to sleep? Have you ever had that where you're not able to sleep? It's the worst. And then the next day, it's like, I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to take a nap. Then I'm not tired enough to go and take a nap. And so then it just piles up to the night, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to bed early. Give me some sleep in. No, never works. So P Money says it's 12:40 here, so it's afternoon here, and I think it's 11:40 where you are, so almost good afternoon where you are. Yes, but it's still morning. Anti-meridian versus post-meridian. Am I right, though? Am I right? I was going to make a video this week contrasting two scenes from two separate John Ford films with John Wayne with similar camera movements. And I did it. I even recorded the video. And as I finished, because I record these things, in case you don't know, I record most of my stuff live, so I don't have to do a lot of editing. So basically I just do it straight to tape, and I don't have to edit anything. I just switch it up in the stream software, but record it instead of streaming it. And that way it takes less time to do. And just as I finished it, I hit stop record. My computer crashed. And I lost it. So I didn't... Usually when something like that happens, these catastrophic failures of technology that ruin all my hard work. Not all my hard work. I take a break from it and come back to it. So I had promised that earlier in the week that I was going to do that video, but obviously I have to get my juice back, Sometimes I'll record a video and I realize I just didn't have it. So I have to do it over again, and the next time is better or worse. I don't know, but I usually go with the second one. Although sometimes I mess up so badly that I have to go a third time. And actually doing it live and not editing anything afterwards, cutting anything out, I pretty much have to be very erudite and clear with my words. Not be umming and ahhing and sewing and knowing. All right. What have you guys been doing? Well, we'll talk about the topic. I've been trying to put actual things I planned, actual themes into the description for the video, the title for the video. It'll be like the theme going on, right? No cheap solutions. Basically, people often look for this easy answer in their life. Simple ways to do this, quick recipe, that, this, and that. Well, you're halfway around the world, though, Hervelia. Whereas people spent a lot, because life was harder in the past, people spent a lot more time doing things, and if they did something, often they wanted it to be worthwhile. I think nowadays, so many of us don't even plan out our meals for the next few days or the week or anything. We're always, what should we have for dinner tonight? Maybe you think in the morning, I need to set this stuff out. Usually it's, what am I doing? What am I going to do? Never really planning ahead. Whereas in the past, they had to plan everything ahead, whether it was canning or curing meat. Well, we have to plan this. I'm going to make. I'm going to have this meat next week, so I got to prepare it now. We can't be bothered. Short break. Yeah, see, short break. I'm thinking about making some commercials to put in that. So, like, when it goes to the break, there's a commercial for, like, my Patreon or my sticker thing on Redbubble. You know what it's called? Redbubble? Yeah, Redbubble. That's it. That way, people know about those things. No obligations, of course. My goal, though, is to get to enough money where I pay for my podcast hosting. Even though I don't put up new podcasts, I'd like to. I'd like to pay for that. So that's my goal, is to get that paid for. And then if we get enough money coming in each month, then I can justify putting on another podcast that would be a little bit different. But if you guys don't know about the podcast, they should be on most of your iTunes or your Google Play Store. At one time, they were on Spotify, although I think Spotify might have purged them. Don't know why. One of the podcasts is called Cross Section, and you may have seen the logo here. Let's see. Boom. That's a logo. So if you see that logo, that's mine. Another one's Coin a Geek, and there haven't been new audio podcasts coming to that, but it's not to say they won't be in the future. It's just hard to coordinate right at the moment with the co-host of that show. But I've been thinking about doing a long form podcast with rotating guests that I bring on to talk about subjects. All right, so back to no cheap solutions. Hard work and bravery required. It's going fairly well. Maniac Mega Man McGee. Here's the thing. We live in this disposable, instant gratification culture. Everything has become disposable. Everything that we want is quick and fast, and we want it done now. And so people think back to, like, for instance, I'm reading this book written in the 60s talking about the fall of the culture and how conservative values were being lost and what's needed to counteract that. And we think, like, oh man, so long ago, coming up on 60 years ago this was written. Oh man, nothing's changed. But we have this short view of history, right? Like 60 years, and he's describing this fall. The fall is still happening. The decline is still happening, right? And we think, oh man, we failed. But there are no cheap solutions. There wasn't some easy solution then to counteracting these things, to changing people's hearts and minds. There was no easy solution there. There was no infrastructure in place. People didn't even know what was happening there, or were unwilling to acknowledge what was going on. And so it kept going down. And now you have a situation where more and more people are starting to maybe recognize that there's been a failure or a loss. And it's not to say people didn't in the past, but as a whole, I think things continue to slip. And so we're at a point where we're like, what do we do? Is there any hope to save society and culture? To maintain our freedoms and liberty? And they want to, they want to look, what's the answer? How do I convince somebody? How do I convince somebody on the other side of an argument from me? I see this a lot on podcasts where people take questions at the end. I've been watching a lot of Carl Benjamin Lotus Eaters podcast. And he often takes questions at the end. Well, I guess he always does. But often the questions are, what kind of argument should I use to convince these people? Or when should I give up? And they're looking for this easy, cheap solution. They're looking for the magic bullet that's going to knock them out and convince somebody. What they don't realize is that it's hard work and failure might happen. Right? If you look back at the history of the world, like huge events that take place, they don't just happen in a vacuum, like right away, instantaneously, right? There's people over many years that often struggle and fail and inspire the next person to go and do it. And then eventually change happens, right? Like the Reformation, you had people prior to Martin Luther that were trying to reform the church. Jan Hus, John Wycliffe wrote things. There was other people before them and during their times, right? And then finally it took the right situation, the right things going on politically, all of this stuff then comes together, and Martin Luther lights the fire. And I think, hopefully not much of that got skipped with the buffering. I don't know. It's gonna like pop back in here in a second, and I'm just gonna be staring at the computer like, oh, what's going on? Oh, it's terrible, man. I hate this so much lately. What if I switch cameras? Just forget that one. Is it buffering or is it just me? I don't know. Report back. That is a really good grilled cheese sandwich. Holy cow. I don't know. Lady Vixen?
Yes.
Is it buffering?
I don't really see it. I mean, it's jittering a little bit, but...
So I'm talking and communicating? Weird. It's buffering on my screen. All right, so... yeah. It's buff, circle of doom, repeat. Dang it. I'm going to try to fix it, guys. Hold on. Don't go away. And if this stream does go away... Hopefully it's good now. It seems better. Okay, so people want these easy answers. They want these cheap, quick solutions. Just give me that magic bullet so I can defeat my enemies. And what they don't... oh, man! Oh, worthless. Just keeps buffering. At least on my screen. I mean, if if it persists, we'll just end the stream and give up, right? We'll give up all hope. The problem is when people that don't watch come in and they see all this buffering and crappy video, they go out. But hard work and bravery, persistence. All right. Well, it was worth a shot.